Here are 5 lesser-known historical mysteries. 1. The Green Children of Woolpit. In the 12th century, in the small village of Woolpit, England, 2 children, a boy and a girl, were found near a wolf trap. What made them extraordinary was their skin color. Both children had green-tinged skin, spoke an unknown language, and wore strange clothing. They were taken in by local villagers and eventually learned to speak English. When they could finally communicate, they claimed to have come from a subterranean world called St. Martin's Land, where the sun never shone, and everything had a perpetual twilight. Unfortunately, the boy grew sick and died, but the girl adapted to her new surroundings and lost her green color. She later explained that they were herding their father's cattle when they followed a glowing light and suddenly found themselves in Woolpit. To this day, scholars debate whether this was folklore, a case of lost children from a different culture, or something far stranger, perhaps an extraterrestrial encounter or visitors from a parallel dimension. 2. The disappearance of the Eilean Mor lighthouse keepers. In December 1900, a supply ship arrived at the Flannan Isles off the coast of Scotland to check on the lighthouse at Eilean Mor. To their horror, the lighthouse keepers, James Duckett, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur, were nowhere to be found. The lighthouse itself was in order, with a half-eaten meal on the table and oil lamps prepared for lighting. Their disappearance became even more puzzling when their logbook was discovered. The entries detailed strange occurrences, such as fierce winds and thick fogs, even though weather reports from the mainland described calm conditions. The final log entry, dated December 15th, stated, "The storm has passed, the sea is calm. God is over all." Theories range from the men being swept away by a rogue wave to supernatural forces at play. To this day, the fate of the lighthouse keepers remains one of the sea's most chilling mysteries. 3. The mystery of the Pollock twins. In 1957, a tragedy struck the Pollock family in Hexham, England. 2 sisters, Joanna, 11, and Jacqueline Pollock, 6, were killed in a car accident. A year later, the mother gave birth to twin girls, Jennifer and Gillian. Soon after the twins were born, strange things began to happen. Jennifer had birthmarks that matched exactly where Jacqueline had scars, and as the girls grew, they started to ask for toys and clothes that had belonged to their deceased sisters, items they had no knowledge of. When the family moved to a different town, the twins began to recall specific details about Hexham they couldn't possibly have known, such as landmarks and places they had never visited. By the time they turned 5, these bizarre recollections faded, and they grew up as normal girls. Many believe this case is evidence of reincarnation, while others argue it was a mix of childhood imagination and parental influence. 4. The Lost City of Cahokia. In present-day Illinois, just across the Mississippi River from St. Louis, lies the remains of an ancient city known as Cahokia. At its height in the 12th century, Cahokia was home to up to 40,000 people, making it larger than London at the time. The city was famous for its massive earthen mounds, some over 100 feet tall, which were used for ceremonial purposes, living quarters, and tombs. What makes Cahokia such a mystery is the lack of written records or clear signs of why it was abandoned by 1350. Archaeologists have found evidence of trade reaching as far as the Great Lakes and the Gulf of Mexico, suggesting Cahokia was a cultural hub. However, by the time European explorers arrived in the 16th century, the city was deserted. Was it abandoned due to resource depletion, climate change, or warfare? No one knows for sure, but Cahokia remains one of the greatest enigmas of pre-Columbian North America. 5. The Voyage Manuscript. Often referred to as the world's most mysterious book, the Voyage Manuscript is an illustrated codex that dates back to the 15th century. It was discovered in 1912 by Wilfrid Voynich, a Polish bookseller, and contains around 240 pages written in an unknown script, with strange illustrations of plants, astronomical symbols, and nudes. What makes the manuscript so mysterious is that, despite numerous attempts, no one has been able to decipher its language or code. Linguists, cryptographers, and even computer algorithms have been employed to crack the code, but all have failed. Some believe the manuscript is an elaborate hoax, while others think it may be written in an extinct or constructed language. The manuscript's purpose is equally puzzling. Some speculate it could be a medical text, an alchemical treatise, or even an alien artifact. Whatever it is, the Voyage Manuscript remains one of history's most perplexing unsolved mysteries. These tales, though rarely discussed, provoke the imagination and leave us with more questions than answers, fueling the mystery surrounding them for generations.